"Ah, ah," murmured he, "is Dante, then, a member of some Carbonari society, that his prosecutor thus employs the collective form? He was, if I recollect, arrested in a tavern, in company with a great many others." Then he added, "Monsieur, you may rest assured that I shall perform my duty impartially, and that if he be innocent, you shall not have appealed to me in vain. Should he, however, be guilty in this present epoch, impunity would furnish a dangerous example, and I must do my duty." As he had now arrived at the door of his own house, which adjoined the Palais de Justice, he entered, after having coldly saluted the shipowner, who stood, as if petrified, on the spot where Villefort had left him. The antechamber was full of police agents and gendarmes, in the midst of whom, carefully watched, but calm and smiling, stood the prisoner. Villefort traversed the antechamber, cast a side glance at Dante, and taking a packet which a gendarme offered him, disappeared, saying, "Bring in the prisoner." All right, so here's a question for y'all. Is Villefort putting on a performance for Morel in suggesting that he can trust that he'll do his duty, that he's not out for blood necessarily, but like he's going to do his duty one way or the other? If he's innocent, he will abide by the law and set him free. But if there is any hint of danger, that he must do his duty and move forward with whatever, punishment they see fit. Spoiler alert: political crimes did not go well at this era of France. So, but we asked back in the last chapter when he was talking with the noble family of the de Saint-Marans, his betrothed, the Marquis and Marquise, about his job and the dangers involved with it. That he is out to, make sure he's going to make a name for himself. Like, was he putting on a strongman performance for them? Is he putting on a fair performance, a fair person performance here for Morel? Like, is he just kind of shifty in a different kind of way than Danglars? Like, he's going to assume whatever form he needs to in order to appease the person he's with, and then I guess we don't know what his motives are yet. Like, what is he going to do? We don't. This is an interesting kind of suspense that Dumas is building, a character suspense of, he seemed out for blood in the last chapter. Here he's saying he's going to be fair. But there's danger in his past. How is Villefort going to act? And all of this good stuff that's happening to Dante hinges on this one man's decision. And we don't really have an inside track into how he's going to behave. That's interesting. This is really, really well written. I don't know if you know that. This should be a classic of literature. I don't know why it hasn't been slated as such yet. I will say one thing that's kind of like an antiquated way of writing that makes it very difficult for me, particularly with tripping over my words. I'm known for that. That Dumas employs here that is tricky is how many like commas and tangents he goes on within sentences. Like, let me find one here. Yeah, here's one. I'm stepping out of reading character now and just gonna present it to you. So whatever. The quote is: "As he had now arrived at the door of his own house, comma, which adjoined the Palais de Justice," really hard for me to pronounce, comma, "he entered, comma, after having, comma, coldly saluted the shipowner, comma, who stood, comma, as if petrified, comma, on the spot where Villefort had left him." Like, holy shit, can you just find a simpler way of writing that sentence? Like the mental calculation to keep all of the characters in mind and who's doing what and who's standing where and who's moving, like, it was a lot for my brain to have to wrestle with, to be able to present it in a way that makes any kind of sense. But I guess when you're just reading it and not reading it aloud like I am, particularly reading it aloud for an audience, you don't have to think about these things, but I do, and that was a little mental athleticism I had to do in order to get through this passage. But hopefully tomorrow there won't be as many of those as we continue on the Count of Monte Cristo. I'll see you here all then. Okay? Okay. Goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.